Okay, right. Here we are, day 5 already. Can you believe it? Day 5, here we are. Okay, is anyone going to come and join me for day 5 coaching? Did you miss me? We had no coaching yesterday. Did you miss me? Hopefully you did. So who's here? Come and say hi. Say hello. How was your Easter? How was your Easter? I'm pretty sure of one thing. Pretty sure you saved a lot of money, because I know we did. Not able to go out and not able to go on holiday. That's so, yeah. Monica present, ready to rock. I love that. Well done, Monica. Well done, Monica. Great to see you here. Thank you. I love that. So, how was yesterday and how was today? I did tell you on Saturday, I don't know if you're like me, but the days are rolling into one. On Saturday, I did tell you, hello, Martin. Martin's in the house. I did tell you that I would, the challenge would get more tradey from yesterday. And it certainly did, because yesterday was all about the your trade plan. Now, and then today was your return on investment in trading. And it's not something that's talked about, is it? It's not talked about. And tomorrow you'll understand how today fits in so perfectly, okay? Because I'll give you a wee hint. I will give you a wee hint of what tomorrow's about. Tomorrow, I'll give you a wee hint of what tomorrow's about, but I promise you, you may think you know what it's going to be about based on the topic I'm going to tell you what it is. But I promise you, you'll never look at trading the same again when you do tomorrow's mission. All right? Ha, I love it. I love it. Okay, so tomorrow's mission is you trading as a business. Okay, tomorrow is trading as a business. So how do you trade as a business? That's what tomorrow's about. Now, obviously, as you will see from when I said to you on Saturday that from now on we're getting more trading. Yesterday was your trading plan. Today is your return on investment on your trading. And then tomorrow is your trading as business. So now it's all starting to fit together. So people like Nolan, if you are on, when you said you keep on jumping around and not being focused. And there's been a lot of people who say, oh my God, I'm one of those that don't have a trade plan. Well, guess what? If you don't have a trade plan, you are making mistakes. Okay. The whole benefit of having a trade plan is that it eliminates mistakes, or it certainly eliminates 98, 99% of mistakes. Okay. That's the important part. Now, when I first started talking to the tribe members about trade plan, they would say anything between, yeah, I've got a trade plan, yes, I've got a 1 page, yes, I've got a plan of sorts, but it's in my drawer, I never follow it, and all that sort of stuff. But that's great. Kudos. Great having a trade plan. But is it something that you follow to the letter, to the absolute letter of that plan? Okay. So it's another mistake people make is when they do a trade plan, they then do nothing with it. As one guy would say, put it in his drawer and not look at it again for 18 months or thereabouts, right? When he starts when he's been losing, and wondering why, and then somebody says, oh yeah, I must have a trade plan. He pulls it out and has a look at it and goes back in again, okay? You need to learn your trade plan off by heart. And every time a new eventuality comes up where you're not sure, you're not certain, you have a level of uncertainty, any uncertainty and not being sure lowers your level of confidence, okay? So you need to rehearse it. You need to learn it off by heart. You need to know. And every time, and the other thing is you need to update it. At least every quarter, update it, okay? You must update it every quarter. If you're not updating it, it gets outdated. All right. You need to be updating with new eventualities, situations that you hadn't planned for. How did you deal with it? How will you deal with it going forward? Review it. Does it work for you? And all of that. Hello, Doug. How's it going? So 100%, if you do not have a comprehensive trade plan, you're making mistakes. And I can tell you this with authority because one of our programs that we have in the Tribe of Traders is called Tech Intensive. All right. And part of that is I review everyone's trades that they've taken. according to the 2 strategies that we have in the tribe of traders. I go through all their trades every 2 weeks. It's a 3 to 4 month program. Go through their trades every 2 weeks, and I give them feedback on every one of the trades. And you can see 100% of the times that they made mistakes because the eventuality wasn't covered in their trade plan. They were not sure. They did not know this happened or that happened, and this situation arose and that situation. 101 reasons in their comments, all of which come down to mistakes. Now, I'm not saying all their trades were mistakes. That's not what I'm saying at all. Okay, but here's the interesting thing. Time and time again, I proved it to the traders, to the guys in the tribe, that had they had a plan, stuck to the letter of that plan, not taken that trade, they would have been profitable day after day after day after day. And what do you think that makes? That makes for compounding your account. That makes for reaching your target. That makes for building financial resilience. That makes over 5 years building your financial security. So why the freaking hell would you not have a trade plan? Okay? A trade plan not only that you've mapped out, but one that you've learned off by heart and actually rehearsed. All right? So as I said, I actually said it in the video that our trade plan in the Tribe of Traders is it's about a 50-page template, okay? And that's a template. That's before it's filled out, right? It's a 50-page template. It's okay to have it's okay to have a 1-pager or 2-pager. In fact, there's something I want to be talking to the tribe about shortly. It's something that's come up for me over the past week or so. It's okay to have a 1 or 2-page trade plan if it is the summary of your main trade plan. Okay, so what we've done, like with the current scenario, is we have a trade plan, right? We've got the template, which is a sort of like 50-page template. We've got that filled out, and it's not just about the strategies to take. It's not just about where you put your stop loss to take profit and how many trades you take in a day or a month or what your risk percentage. It's not just that. It covers so much. Okay, it covers so much. So much more than that. It covers like what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, what your goals are, why you've got those goals, what your sliding scale towards your returns are, what your sliding scale is towards losing trades is, your correlation. It like picks up correlation and what instruments you will trade against each other and stuff like that. It's includes your objectives and how getting really clear on how the strategies you trade marry with your objectives. It also includes ways in which you own the strategy. If you don't understand what own the strategy was, join me on day 7 because we'll go into that in more detail. I promise you, the guys in the tribe that are friggin' flying are the guys that really own the strategy. Okay, you need to own the strategy you trade. And when the difference between you owning the strategy and not owning the strategy, it's easy to one, if you don't own the strategy, you'll be flipping from one to another because you've got no attachment to it. All right, you don't understand it well enough. You're not intimate with it. That's the one thing. The second thing is you'll blame the bloody strategy. You'll blame the market, anything but you. But yet when you're losing, there's 3 questions you need to ask yourself. If you're losing consecutively over time, 3 questions you need to ask yourself. 1, is it me? Is it the market? Or is it strategy? If you've tested the strategy, you're comfortable with the strategy, you've proven itself for you and the source that you got it from, then it can't be the strategy. And let's face it, it's never the market. The market's always right, okay? The market is always 100% right because it is the final decision maker, okay? We can't be right against a $5 trillion a day moving machine, can we? So the market's all right. So that only leaves ourselves. When you open that line of inquiry, when you're actually brave enough to be honest enough with yourself, and when I say that deliberately, when you're brave enough to be that honest with yourself, because it's the hardest thing we can do is be honest with ourselves. I promise you, it's my opinion, that is the hardest thing that we can do. When you're brave enough to be honest with yourself and you start and you admit and acknowledge that you're the cause of your effect, bang, you're nearly there. You're nearly there. By accepting that, you're nearly there. You're like 80% there, okay? And when you accept that, that's when you start owning the strategy. That's when you start taking on board, taking responsibility for the trading. It's like we're the cause of our own effect. When we understand it, when we're really honest about it, no matter where we are in our trading, we have caused that. Now, think about it. We have caused that. Think about it. Wherever you are in your trading, you have caused it. You have created it. We have created our own reality. Whatever it is, we have created it. Instead of feeling overpowered or disempowered or despair about that, feel, oh my gosh, awe and wonderment about it. Because if you created that, that means that you can create whatever else you like. Because I guarantee you one thing. It's not because you don't know how to trade. It's not because you don't deserve the wealth that trading will bring you. It's not because you don't understand trading and you don't understand how to make money, because it's none of that. Okay? That's guaranteed. But that's the easy part of trading. Okay, that's the tactical side of trading. You know all that. You don't need training there. You know that. Okay? So if you're the cause of your effect and you have created this magnificent place that you are in right now, whatever it is that you're maybe winning, you're losing, whatever it is, you've created that. You can change that reality. Okay, you can change that reality. When you accept the fact that it's you, that's how empowering it is. You can create, once you accept and own that it's you can create a different outcome. It is so empowering. Just think about it. It might sound odd, and if you're not used to thinking about it like that, you might think, who's this mad woman? But it's okay. But think about it. And I've seen it over and over and over again in the tribe, how they have transformed their lives, transformed their trading, on the brink of giving up. Some guys were losing for 4 years. I think we have one guy that was on trying for 7 years. He'd been trying for 7 years, but there's a few of our guys who've been trying for 4 years and not been profitable until they joined the Tribe of Traders. And when they joined the Tribe of Traders and took on board our unique approach to trading, their trading changed. And a part of that unique approach to trading is asking themselves those 3 questions. Is it me? Is the market as a strategy? You understand it's not the strategy, you understand it's not, can never be the market, it's you. When you start opening that line of inquiry, so much changes. But here's the caveat to that. You have to be prepared to be completely honest with yourself. And why would you not be? I mean, what have you got to lose? Why would you not be 100% honest with yourself? What you got to lose? We have this one life, okay? We have this one life, and we get to choose how it unfolds, moment by moment. Our life is nothing but a series of moments, and we get to choose what they are. And that is the most empowering thing that I can think of. Anyway, so if you haven't got a trade plan, now we digress slightly, but does all flow back into the trade plan. If you don't have a trade plan, you're setting yourself up for failure. It's like in the diving. One of my biggest passions in life is scuba diving. In diving, fail to plan, you plan to... What's the word, Tony? What is it?
You fail to... diving.
Diving.
Plan the dive the plan.
Plan the dive the plan.
Or with my program manager had come, if you...
If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. All right, something like that. But it's literally like that. Okay, it's literally like that. It is like that with trading as well. You need to have a plan. You need to know it off by heart, because when a situation comes up, you need to be able to know what you do in accordance with your plan. Nolan, this will help you 100%. No, oh my gosh, Nolan, I get you 100%. Sometimes we don't like to know the truth. We don't like to hear the truth. But that's only because we have perceived that it's going to be more drawbacks than benefits. But anyway, there's a whole different topic. I promise you, when you start just sitting back and asking yourself the question, listen, do I want to be the master of my destiny or victim to my history? All right. When you ask yourself that question, what would the answer be? Would you prefer to be the master of your destiny or the victim to your history? Which is it? Because I swear to you, on my life, I swear to you that if you decide to own it, be honest with yourself and start owning the fact that we're the cause of our own effect, you, in that moment, start becoming the master of your destiny. And a part of that mastery of their destiny is building the wealth that you deserve. And the way in which we are all here connected right now here is that we are built. One of the avenues, one of the arrows in our quiver to building that wealth is trading. And that is why trading is the gift that keeps on giving, because when we have that, when we own that, that alone changes our trading. It changes our trading when you accept that. Part of the, don't get me wrong, it's what I'm saying, what I'm explaining, what I'm sharing with you, not just today, but the past few days. If you're brand new into my world, like, it's not something you would typically learn or hear about in the trading industry, is it? It's all about the tactical side of placing trades and follow this rule, follow that rule. Oh yeah, have a trade plan and manage your emotions. There's lip service paid to it, but no one gets down and dirty and gritty and into the uncomfortable weeds of the dark places. All right, but yet that's where we need to go in order to thrive. Okay, so think about it this way. Think about the ninja trading challenges this way, or think about putting yourself through listening to me this way. Okay, in order to go forward, very often think of a bow, right? Very often the string on the bow has to be pulled back, all right, in order for the arrow when you let go, for the arrow to shoot forward. Think about this context. What we're going through right now, we're having to pull back. We're having to go into the dark places, having to murky around in those dark holes and corners and shadows, right, and start shining a light on them. And when you shine a light on them, that's when you propel yourself forward. I have seen it over and over again. I know what I am talking about. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind whatsoever. There is nothing more freeing, no more liberating, more empowering than understanding, embracing the fact that we're the cause of our own effect. And the way in which you do that is by being 100% honest with yourself. And then when you start accepting that, hey, listen, what have I got to lose by being honest with myself? Do you know what? I can be honest with myself. I don't have to admit it to anybody else, but I can be honest with myself. Okay? And when you start going into that uncomfortable area and you open up that line of inquiry, you will realize that it's not as bad, not as scary, and not as daunting as we thought it might be. We think it's worse than it actually is, because in order to go into those dark places, we have to go into our heart space. And in our heart center, there is nothing but love, appreciation, gratitude, compassion, and empathy. That's what exists in that space. No judgment. Judgment only exists in the head. That's when we judge. And when you judge, you get polarized, you get uncentered, and you get emotional and reactive. That's why Warren Buffett said you cannot manage your emotions, you cannot manage money. You cannot manage your emotions, you cannot trade. Okay, because you're trading from the head. That's why the super traders are all deeply spiritual people. Okay, they're deeply, deeply spiritual people. Right. It's exposing all my weaknesses in trading. Oh my gosh, 100%, Andy. Doug, cause and effect, the law of the universe. Absolutely, absolutely. It's the fundamental laws of the universe, isn't it? Andy, exposing all weaknesses in trading. Gosh almighty, you couldn't have said a truer word. That's why I always say that, I'll relay a story, but that's why I always say that trading is like putting a magnifying glass over ourselves. It highlights everything, all the quirks, all the foibles, all the weaknesses, all the cracks that we try and cover up and hide and pretend they're not there. We shine a light on it in our trading. And that's why it is the gift that keeps on giving, Andy. That is why, because I promise, Andy, yes, that was Andy. That's why it's the gift that keeps on giving, because when you do that, and if you're serious, if you don't run away from trading, if you're serious about mastering trading, that entails you mastering yourself, all right? And when you're doing that, in the act of doing that, infiltrates into all other areas of your life. And it starts transforming all areas of life. That's why I always say it doesn't just change the lives of our traders and their trading, but it also changes their life, relationships, their jobs, their businesses. Everything starts to change, filters into everything. And you get to make money in the process. What's not to love about trading? That's why I say it's the gift that keeps on giving, because it does do that. So like, for example, I've worked with a guy who is a very wealthy guy. He has a high net worth, like it's in the double-digit millions, okay? And very successful. And he's sold businesses for multi-millions and very, very successful. And he loves trading, but he really struggled to trade profitably. We identified why, okay, but he really struggled to trade profitably, and he couldn't understand it. He thought, like he's done this business. He's literally worked all over the world. And he's had all sorts of engineering businesses, property businesses. He's worked in. He has volunteered and established schools in developing countries and incredible stuff. So he thought when he got into trading that he was just going to walk in and sail off into the sunset on his riches from trading, and he couldn't master it. It was getting the better of him. So I started working with him, and then we were able to understand why and how and what needs to be addressed, what needs to be looked at. And we went off into journeys, amazing journeys and directions. And at first he didn't know where on earth he was going, or I was going with him. But as we unpacked all of that and then relayed it all back, that's when he started to understand what was actually going on for him in his trading. So the thing is that often you can be really successful in business or in your career, really successful, but you'll know in your heart that you're not quite reaching your potential. But you'll cover it up with things like, I will get there, or I'll deal with this, or just haven't had the right opportunities yet, or I'm not being lucky, or whatever the story is you will run for yourself. That's very important, okay? Do not switch off. Listen to what I'm saying. This is probably the most important thing that I'm going to share with you today. That your life, you will always know that you're not reaching your fullest potential. This is part of being honest with yourself, okay? You've got to be honest with yourself. Because if you're not, you will run 101 stories in your head. You'll make excuses. You will justify. Okay, you will justify the effect that you're having. But when you start being really honest with yourself, which is very, very rarely do we actually do that until we have an actual reason to do it, like, for example, trying to master trading. When you're really honest with yourself, go into the heart space, the heart center will tell you, well, yeah, the reason why. Okay, so we'll mask. It's easy to mask all these foibles, weaknesses, cracks, and dark places in normal life. But you can't do that when you go trading. And that is why I had this one guy, massively successful, but we got clear about things and issues that we're not quite feeling on top of the world about, right? But he was able to mask in his normal successful life that was highlighted in his trading. Get what I mean? That's why it's like having a magnifying glass on us. So exposing all my weaknesses, yes, but that is helping me reflect on what I need to get a hold of and progress on. Yeah, absolutely, Andy. Completely, 100%, completely correct. So when you have a trade plan, just get it down. Just get it down as a starting point. Okay, now you can have an in-depth trade plan of like many, many pages, and then from there you can have a summary of 1 or 2 pages. That's fine. But 1 or 2 page trade plan in itself is not enough, because it's not enough for you to build a high level of self-awareness, for you to ask yourself enough, what is the word for it? Probing questions about how you will deal with this and how you will deal with that. Because remember what I've said. Have I shared with you the 3? Let me know in the chat box, please. If I shared with you the minimum 3 beliefs that you bring to trading every single time you sit down to trade, have I shared that with you? Let me know in the chat box. If I have, I won't bother doing it again. If I haven't, I will share it with you. Have I shared it with you? Let me know in the chat box. There are 3 beliefs that we bring to trading every single time we sit down to trade. I'm sure somebody can say yes or no. I think that's my problem. The trade plan, yeah. Bubbles, yeah. But you've got the trade plan program, man. So there's 3 beliefs that we bring to trading every single time. I don't know when I have that before or not.
Well, if no one's saying it, they don't want to hear it.
They don't want to hear it. Right. That's it. Okay. All right. Then today's mission was return on investment. Being consciously aware of the time and of what your return on investment in terms of your trading, that will have a direct impact on your confidence around trading, as well as raising your self-worth. It is so important that having that ROI, because if you don't have a high ROI, return on investment, in terms of your time spent, the returns that you get on your effort in trading, what will happen is trading starts to control you, and you're not in control of your trading. And at all times, trading needs to work for us and not the other way around. Too many times, I would say, majority of retail traders, they actually subjugate themselves to trading. So they become a victim to the charts, victim to the markets. They allow the markets to overpower them. Whereas if you set very clear parameters in terms of what you demand as your ROI in your trading, that is when you are in control and what trading works for you. And a part of that is not just your time spent, because let's face it, your time is the single most valuable asset that you have. It's probably the only non-renewable asset that you've got. We've all got. Okay, it is an extremely valuable asset. So let's carry a high level of respect and appreciation for that time, and not spend 3-4 hours or more just going from chart to chart to chart. Okay, again, that needs to be in your trade plan as well. So, Monica, Martin, I did get your message. I will go to those 3 beliefs in a moment. So having demanding a high level of return on investment in terms of your trading on as many different areas as possible. And I gave you some ideas this morning in that download, is very important. That will definitely start giving you an edge in terms of giving you a different perspective in which to approach your trading. And that, along with tomorrow's mission, it's going to change the face of trading for you. For sure. Okay, for sure. Now, here's the thing. Please hear this. The idea behind the 7-day Ninja Trading Challenge is for you to realize that there are some fundamental, key, pertinent component parts to successful trading that you may have never been exposed to before. And in doing so, and then doing the actual exercises and taking part in them, you cannot but start to build a higher level of self-awareness. All right. So give me a thumbs up if that makes sense. And certainly, I think you will, many of you looking at your comments, will have been starting to see that. So you will start to see that high level of self-awareness starting to creep in now, right? Here's the thing. It will mean nothing if you don't have self-governance. Right? This is not something you're going to just do once and then sort of do once and then put in a drawer, or, oh yes, I did that. That's great. That's good. That's wonderful. Nice to know. Thanks a lot. It's going to do nothing. What I'm teaching you, what I'm sharing with you, what I have dug very deep into and deep for you, is to give you a framework within to trade within that is going to powerfully transform your trading. But it's something that you need to be consciously doing every single day. Okay. And this is why it takes which is, I always say, you need to be consciously competent, consciously aware. And in this process, raising your self-awareness and then self-governing yourself enough to actually put it into practice until it becomes a way of life and becomes habitual. I always, though, do say that never, ever in any area of your life, well, certainly in any important area of your life, don't become consciously incompetent, unconsciously competent. Don't become unconsciously competent. Always, as much as possible, be consciously competent about what it is you're doing. Be conscious, be present. That's what it's about. It's about being present. Okay? There's no more, my mind, disastrous way to live than being non-present, being unconsciously competent, getting into the car and driving from point A to point B, and then getting there, getting out the car, locking the door, and thinking, where have I been for the past hour? I think that is that is like, it's a very contracted way to live. It's a very unaware way to live. You're certainly not present. So, and therefore, what you are doing is you're subjugating yourself to your unconscious, or your subconscious, to your subconscious belief systems that are running you, right? And as you are unconsciously thinking or subconsciously thinking of whatever's going on in your head, it's from that subconscious place, which is linear and has polarized perceptions around you. Okay, does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. So those beliefs are sitting there in your subconscious mind, and by not being present and not managing those thoughts or the language of those thoughts, you're letting them dominate you. All right. Now, some of those beliefs and those thoughts and the language in those thoughts are not supportive. And they have been created through events, perceptions, challenges you've experienced along the way, or things that you were told as a child, even though they were meant well. It doesn't have to be that they were maliciously told to you or done to you. It could have even been meant well, but the way in which it landed for you was not supportive. So therefore, the more conscious we are about how it is that what is going through our mind, how we are being, and so on, the more powerful a life, the more present a life, the more rewarding, the more fulfilling, and the more in which you will become the master of your destiny. Okay, the 3 beliefs before I go. There are 3 beliefs we have every single time, minimum 3 beliefs that we sit down to trade. The one is we have a strategy that we trade. 1, 2, or 3 strategies. I trust there's not more than that. Okay. All right. For Forex trading, I'm not talking about strategies you might have for other ways of trading. So I'm talking about for Forex trading. 1 or 2 or 3 strategies, right? So each one of those has rules, right? And those rules are based on a set of beliefs, right? But those beliefs have been well and truly tested, well and truly researched. So to the point that they have a high probability of success. So like if Pogo or Bugsy.
That's if it's a good strategy, sorry.
Yeah, if it's a good, sorry, Tiny. The peanut gallery. Tiny's just jumping in here. If it's a good strategy, thank you, my love. If it's a really good strategy, it will have been thoroughly and utterly tested, researched, and has a high probability of success. For example, Pogo and Bugsy, they average, each of them average each month an 83%, 84% success rate. Even during this whole global shutdown, Bugsy has exceeded that in terms of a success rate. Pogo dropped a bit, but it was like Pogo dropped about 68, I think it was 68% success rate over this shutdown. But Bugsy has gone the other way. I think it went up to 87% success rate or thereabouts. So even through this, okay, so that's the thing. That's the first belief, that the strategy has a series of beliefs in which the rules are built around, right? Been tested, statistically, probability, high success rate. The next set of beliefs that we bring every time we come to sit down to trade is what I call situational. So it's whatever is going through for you in that moment in time. So like the one that I always, and it's one that I need to manage personally, is that I tend to have very lucid dreams, very vivid dreams. So when I wake up, they impact me when I wake up. So I need to work through that. I need to meditate, need to calm down or whatever it is and get into a sort of more grounded state. Now, I know a lot of people have those sort of nights, those sort of dreams, but what else was going on for you? Are the children screaming and crying? Are the children sick? Are you arguing with your partner? Are you worried about the business day coming ahead? Are you worried about a meeting, an interview, whatever it is that's coming up for you in that day that's creating a situational state for you and a set of beliefs being triggered, whatever they might be? And obviously, the more conscious you are of them, then you can start dealing with them. You're aware of them. That's why it's important to be consciously competent when you're sitting down to trade. What are your situational beliefs? What's coming up for you? And then manage that. And how we manage that is by getting trade ready. Because if you do not manage it, what you do is you add another set of beliefs into your trading rules, your strategy rules, don't you? Then you marry the strategy rules with the situational rule, strategy beliefs with the situational beliefs. You have now an untested strategy. Okay. We can deal with situational beliefs quite easily and effortlessly if we're consciously competent by getting trade ready. Now, we all have different ways of getting trade ready, but one of it might be meditating, might be doing gratitude. It might be just getting a breath of fresh air and doing a bit of exercise. We'll all have different ways of doing it, and it will be unique to every single one of us. But getting trade ready is certainly very important, as well as being consciously competent, right? The third set of beliefs that we bring to the market every single time we sit down is what I call inherent. Inherent beliefs are fundamentally what makes up every fiber of our body. And that will be the beliefs that drive our behavior, our relationship with money, our relationship with our trading, our relationship with ourselves, our beliefs of how we deserve, the shame and guilt we might be carrying about with us that impact everything we do and how we see life. That is not something you can address in the moment, okay? That is not something you will be able to change in the moment. It's not trade ready is not going to shift that for you. It will help it, but won't shift it. You need to do some serious real work on that to shift it and reframe it. We'll do some of that on day 7, and I'll show you what I mean by that. But again, you imagine inherent, situational, put those two into the strategy rules, you have an untested strategy. All right, it gets even worse because your inherent beliefs has got one thing going for you is that they're pretty consistent. All right, your inherent beliefs, unless you're actually working on them and shifting them and reframing them, they're pretty consistent. But what's not consistent is your situational. They will change all the time, depending on what's getting triggered. All right, they will change all the time. So that's why we're not consistent. That's why one day we will love one strategy, next day, Nolan will run off to the next strategy because we'll be feeling like that one that day. And the next day we'll feel, oh, no, I want to go back to that one. That situational belief is what's driving that behavior. Okay, Nolan, I don't mean to be picking on you. You're very open, so I'm doing it with love, and I'm really my goal and my desire, my intention is that it helps. So hello Victor, I think you came in a bit late, you might want to watch the beginning. So that's the minimum of the 3 beliefs we bring to the market every single time we sit down to trade, and that is why we get inconsistencies. Okay, because those situation beliefs change all the time. So you're changing the way in which you're trading. And that's why when I do this tech intensive program with our clients, when I give them feedback, you can see what the situational is going on. You can see how that's impacting their trading. So what the mistakes are not always the same mistakes. They're different mistakes from one set of trade reports that I go through to the next until they start really mastering that self-awareness and the situational beliefs that they bring into the market and start balancing that and start becoming consciously aware. And that's when they start increasingly to take more and more non-mistake trades. One thing I forgot to finish off was at the beginning when I was talking about the tech intensive, maybe I did and I didn't. I've spoken about so much already. But one of the things that I said, what I've experienced in the tech intensive program we do is that when I point out all the mistakes that traders made in their trades for every 2 weeks, when I point that out and take that out of the equation, they'd have been profitable every single time. Eliminate the mistakes from your trading and you will be profitable. Do you know why? Because trading's easy. Because trading is predictable. Trading's easy. What's hard is mastering ourselves and getting over ourselves, getting out of our own way. And there's only one way you're going to do that, and that's if your why is big enough. Anyway, we'll cover more on the why on day 7. So I trust that was useful, guys. Went a little bit longer than normal. Oh, the competition. Thank you, Tony. The competition. Bloody hell. Okay, so I'm going to do 2 prizes today. Can you come and pick them? So I'm going to do 2 prizes today. All right, before you do that, Tony, we're doing 2 prizes. One, I'm going to do, what did I say? The Find Your Number, the full Find Your Number program. It's really in depth. It's a really, really good program. It's one of my favorite programs. Find Your Number. So I'm going the first person will get Find Your Number. Then I'm going to do, because so many people have been asking for the trade plan, I'm going to be really lovely, really nice, really kind, which the guys in the tribe will always tell you I never am. I'm going to give you the next winner access to my trade plan program. Yay! All right, the next winner. Did you not? No. It's my program. All right. So I can do it. Is that how it works? So I'm going to give the next person access to my trade plan program. So you get the template, you get the full program on what must be in it, why it's important, and so on and so on. How cool is that? Give me a thumbs up if you think that's bloody cool. All right, all the names are in here. Okay, in Tiny's bread bowl. So the first name out is, oh, I better read it first, hadn't I? Lisa Wells. Lisa Wells. Can you see that? Not sure. Lisa Wells, you will get Find Your Number program. Tiny will sort that out tonight. So next one. And the next one is, hey, give it to me. Fred Edwards. I was going to say Fred Astaire. Fred Edwards. So Fred Edwards, you will get my full trade plan program. Tiny will, I'm just going to write that down in case. So that's the trade plan.
I just need Fred's email address.
Fred, Tiny doesn't have your email address. Can you message us your email address? Why don't you have Fred's email address?
I've got a couple of Freds.
But
no surnames.
Fred Edwards, you got the trade plan program. Can you contact Tiny, please, with your email address? Lisa Wells, you got the Find Your Number. Cool bananas. They will be off to you. All right, so I trust you found today beneficial, useful, and certainly takes you forward. All right, tomorrow, I promise you, is going to be an incredible. I love tomorrow. Well, actually, I love it all. You might have gathered. So tomorrow is going to be really good. I will catch you again tomorrow evening at 7:00 right here. Have a wonderful evening. Enjoy the last of Easter weekend, and keep well. Okay, take care, guys. Bye-bye.